learners, we have seen the definition of topology. We have seen the theory of open sets, closed sets, interior of a set, closure of a set, limit points, and so on. Now let's go for something called as continuous functions. How we define a continuous function on a topological space. See how we define continuous function. Continuous functions. So of course we will have two topological spaces, and then we will define a function from one topological space to another topological space by way of some definition, and then we will define when that function is continuous. Okay, and to define this, let's write. Let us take two topological spaces. So let x and y be two topological spaces and let f be a function from one topological space x to another topological space y. So f from x to y be a map, a function. Okay, we say that f is continuous if, let me change the color and write it again, if for every open set V in Y, f inverse of V is open in X. And if you have noticed, whenever we have said open set, closed set, we have specified in which space it is open or closed. So this makes a big difference now. So what it means is you have a topological space, say X, this is X, you have another topological space, say Y, and you have a function, say f, from x to y by way of some definition. This function f from x to y is said to be continuous if you take any open set in this topology, you take the inverse. Now remember, this f inverse is not an inverse function. It's not an inverse function, or it's not an inverse of f. In fact, this f need not be a bijective function. Okay, now this f inverse means it is the inverse image. This is inverse image. So you take, now what it means is if you have a, if you take any open set in Y, so let us take V, this is V, you take any open set V in Y, you take all those points from X which are mapped to Y. So since V is here, there will be some points over here, or there may be some points here which are mapped here. It may happen that V is empty also. Okay, you'll see some examples in the coming time. Now if what you do is you take all these points from X which are mapped to these points in V, you take the inverse image here, that inverse image of V should be open in X. If this happens, then we say that f is a continuous function. Similarly, suppose you want to define continuity at a point. Let me just put that in bracket. F from x to y is continuous at some point, say x naught. Of course, it should be in the domain. If for every neighborhood, say V of f at x naught, f inverse of V contains a neighborhood of x. Understand this statement? If time permits, we will try to prove this also. Okay. Now, when you will say f is continuous at on a subset, okay, let's write that f is said to be continuous on a subset A of x if f is continuous at every point in E. Okay, at a point you know, and from a point we can go for a subset. When we will say that f is continuous at on a subset of x, it will be continuous on a subset provided it is continuous at every point in that subset. Let's see some examples. Example. Before example, I hope this statement is clear. What it says is f is continuous at a point x naught if you take any neighborhood of the image of x naught, and when you take the inverse image of that neighborhood, it should contain a neighborhood of x. So if you want me to draw the diagram, it is something like this. This is your x, this is your y, and you need to f is a function from x to y. You are taking some point x naught here, and we are saying that this f is continuous at this point x naught provided, or if obviously this x naught is mapped to some point here in y, say this point will be f at x naught. Okay, if for every neighborhood of v of f at x naught, so this x naught is mapped to f at x naught. Now for this point you take any neighborhood, of this point. Okay, so this is f at this is v. Okay, so since we have v other side, you take the inverse image of that v this side. So when you take the inverse image of that, obviously this x naught is mapped to f at x naught, and v is the neighborhood of f at x naught, right? That means this point will be inside the inverse image, so it will be something like this. What is this? This is inverse image of v, so f inverse of v. So f inverse of v contains a neighborhood of x. So this point, this green color f inverse of v should contain some neighborhood of x naught. So if this situation happens, then we say that this function f is continuous at x naught. Let me repeat again. You have a topological space x and y, you have a function f from x to y. We say that f is continuous at x naught if you take any neighborhood of the image of f at x naught, say v, you take the inverse image of v, so f inverse of v. F inverse of v contains the neighborhood of x naught, right? Then we say that f is continuous at x naught. Okay, so you can try to prove this also. Let's see the example. Let us take a topological space x and y. Let x and y be two topological spaces. Let us take these two topological spaces x and y, and let us define a function f from x to y. I will define. Let us write that x and y be two topological spaces, and fix some point in y naught, say y naught belonging to y, and let f from x to y be a function defined as f at x is equals to y naught for all x belonging to x. What is this function? What is this function? This is okay. Let us see how it is. So for simplicity, let us write this way. This is your x. This is your y. In y, you have fixed y naught. So this is your y naught. How you define the function? Function is defined. You take any point in your domain, that is a topological space X. That points, all those points are mapped to y naught. So it is like this. You take all those points are mapped to y naught. You take any point, it is mapped to y naught. What is this function? This function is nothing but constant function. Right. Now we have to see whether this constant function is continuous or not. For simplicity, let us take R. Right? You take a function from R to R defined by constant. Say fx is equals to 1 for all x in belonging to R. Is constant function continuous? From your calculus, you can, or the analysis, you can answer that question. Let us check that by using the definition what we have just defined. This. Okay. Now to say or to check whether this is continuous function or not, you have to check. You have to take an arbitrary neighborhood or open set in Y, and you have to take the inverse image of that. That inverse image has to be open in X, and that should happen for all the values of, or all the open subsets in Y. So for that, let us take a neighborhood of, or let us take a open set in Y. So let V be open in Y. You take a open set in Y. Okay. So, and now we have to check what is the inverse image. Then what is the inverse image of V? What can be this? What you're doing is you take a open set in Y, and inverse image of that open set means you find all those points in X which are mapped to that set, which are mapped to the points in that set. For example, if you take a open set, suppose you have taken a V in Y. So if your V is here, then what is the inverse image of V? Of course, correct, it will be empty because none of the point from here is mapped to V. Right? What happens if your V is here? Still it will be empty because none of the point is mapped to V. Then when it will be non-empty? It will be non-empty provided you have V and that point y naught is in V. So if y naught belongs to V, then what is the inverse image? The inverse image of that V will be entire X, because all the points from X are mapped to V. So there are two possibilities. You take open set. We have taken the open set V in Y. So there are two possibilities. This y naught belongs to V, or y naught does not belongs to V. If y naught belongs to V, then inverse image is full of X, and if y naught does not belongs to V, then inverse image is empty. Then f inverse of V will be equals to, this is empty if y naught does not belongs to V, and this is full of X if y naught belongs to V, or we can say otherwise. Now this f inverse of V has to be open in X. So we have some two topological spaces X and Y. So this f inverse of V has to be open in X. Now what about this? You know that even if y naught belongs to or does not belongs to V, we have empty set, and since this X is a topological space, this empty set will be open in X, and always this X is also open in X. So therefore f inverse of V is open in X. So what we have done, we have taken an open set in Y. We found that the inverse image of that, this will exhaust all the possibilities, by the way. And we have seen that the inverse image of that open set V is also open in X. Therefore, f is continuous function. We have applied the definition of that continuous functions over here. Okay, let us take another example. Let us take a topological space X and let f be a function from X to X. Okay, both your domain and codomain are the same topological spaces which are x with tau, x with tau. Let f from X to X defined by or defined as fx equals to x for all x belonging to X. We need to check whether this is a continuous function. If you take let us take x equals to r. So if you take a function from r to r defined by fx equals to x for all x belongs to r, then what is that function called? Find it out. Now what we have here is we have a topological space X. You have another topological space same, that is X, and this function f is a function from X to X, the space X to itself. Now how it is defined? You take x from here, you take x here, that x is mapped again back to the same point X. If you take y here, that y is mapped to the same point y here, because we have your domain, codomain which are same. And now we have to check whether this is a continuous function or not. So for that, let us take a open set. So let V be open in your codomain, that is y. Okay, you take a open set V in y. Let's take that. You take a open set which is V in y. In this case, your y is nothing but x, same space. Now we need to check what is inverse image. So V be open in y. Sorry, we have not. We don't have any y here. So let me write here x, and in this let me write codomain, because in this case our domain and codomain are same. Okay, so what you have to do is you have to take a open set in your codomain. Now what will be inverse image of V? Inverse image of V. What are those points in your domain which are mapped to V? What are those points in your domain which are mapped to V? And of course, you will have same set V. So if you see, inverse image of V will be equals to V. And what is V? V is open in X, and V is open in X. Again I repeat, your domain and codomain are same here, same topological spaces. The f inverse of V becomes V, and we already stated that V is open in X. This implies f is continuous function. Correct? Let me ask a question now. Let me ask a question. You answer this question. Okay. Now let us take a topological space at x comma tau 1. So in this case we have x comma tau 1. Okay, and x comma tau 2. So if you realize the situation, we have same set x, and on that x we have two topologies, say tau 1 and tau 2 on the same set x. Okay, so we topological spaces, we two topological spaces, and let us define f from, let us write put together, x comma tau 1 to x comma tau 2. That f from x comma 1 defined as, let us take identity kind of thing, fx equals to x for all x, because your set is same, we can define this. Then f is continuous when this f will be continuous. What happens is you have, now remember one thing, you have domain codomain same sets, I repeat, same sets, but you have tau 1 in your domain and you have tau 2 in your codomain. And for this function to be continuous, if you take any open set here, if you take any open set V in your codomain, its inverse image has to be open with this in this tau 1. So answer this question, when this f is continuous. In fact, you can say that this is if and only if statement. You can make this if and only if statement. Then f is continuous if and only if something happens. Okay, so answer that. Similarly, based on the same grounds, let us define another question. Let us frame another question. Okay, now for this question, what we do is we will take two topological sets. Let's see. Example. Again, I will give the question, you answer. Let x1 and x2 be rather, let us take 4. Let us take 4. x1 comma tau 1, x2 comma tau 2, y1 comma what is probability? So let us take theta 1, y2 comma theta 2 be topological spaces. Okay. Now 1. Let us take function f from, let us take x2 to say y1. So x2 have a topology tau 2 on x2. We have theta 1 on y1. We have taken a function f from x2 to y1 is continuous if when this function f from x2 to y1 will be continuous. Let us write the same combinations. F from x2 to y2 is continuous if something happens. Third, f from say x1 to y1 is continuous if again something happens. There's a fourth combination as well, f from x1 to y2 is continuous if answer. Oh, you may deal with something called as Courser topology or Finer topologies, comparison of two topologies, because when you say this f is continuous, when you take open set in y1, it has to be open in x2. So likewise, you can compare these topologies and say that whether the function is continuous or not. Okay, let's take this remark. Let x comma tau and y comma theta be topological spaces. To take two topological spaces x and y with tau and theta respectively, and let's take a function and f is a function from x to y. F is continuous if and only if to take any open set V in theta. So for all V in theta, its inverse image F inverse of V should be open in X, means it should be in tau. Then if F is continuous, then this happens, and if this happens, then F is continuous. You have not done anything great. You have just distinguished between the topological spaces tau and theta respectively. Okay. Now what happens to the restriction map? What happens to the restriction map? So what about by the mean when I say restriction map, what happens is we have a, let us do something like this. You have x, we have y, and of course we have a function f from x to y. Now what we do is we take a subset of y. Okay, let us take some, sorry, we take a subset of x. Let us take some subset, say z of x. Of course, since f is a function from x to y, all the points from x will be mapped, and those are mapped to the unique points in y. Now what we do is we restrict our function which is defined for whole of x to the subset of x, that is z, and then we write that function as f restricted to z of x. And to define this, of course, we know if f is restricted to x, this f is restricted to z, then f of f suffix z of x can be written as fx, and for all x, because this is to be defined for z, so for all x belonging to z. Okay, so of course this map is a function from z to y, and of course those points will come from x, the points x will come from z, so we define that to be fx. Okay, now if the function f is continuous, f is a function from x to y, if f is continuous, then when you restrict this f to the subset of x, again that restriction is continuous, and then that we will prove as a theorem or proposition. Let f be a function from x to y be continuous. So we have a continuous function and we have a subset z of x. Let us define a restriction map f restricted to z by f restricted to z of x is equals to, or let us take z, it will be easy to understand. F restricted to z of, say, z, this is small z and this is capital Z. Z is equals to f of z for all z belonging to capital Z. Let me write capital Z to be like this. Okay, this is called restriction map. Then f restricted to z, which is a function from z to y, is continuous. And of course, when you deal with this continuity and when you take a subset of a topological space, this will be in subspace topology. Okay, and let us give a brief proof of this also. Proof, we have a diagram, so we will refer to this diagram. So f is function from here. Now to show that this f restricted to z is continuous, what we have to do is we have to take a open set in y. So let us take some open set, say v in y. Okay, and then we have to show that f restricted to z inverse of v will be open in this z, and in z we will deal with the subspace topology. Okay, so the lectures or videos on subspace topology is already uploaded, we can check those. So let us take, let v belonging to y, or v, sorry, not belonging, v subset of y be open in y. Let us take an open set. Now we need to check what is inverse image of v. So f restricted to z inverse of v, what will be this? This is nothing but set of all those points. This is the function z, remember this is defined on z. So you need to find all those points z in, sorry, small z in capital Z. My capital and small will be same, so that's the problem. Z belonging to capital Z such that those points, so f restricted to z of z is equals to, sorry, not equals to, belongs to v. So you are taking all those points in your domain which is z such that the image of those points is in your v. That is nothing but the inverse image of z. Okay, and of course how we define a restriction map? It is defined to be f of z for all z belonging to z, and we, of course, we are taking this z from z. So this implies it is a set of all z belonging to capital Z such that f of z belong to v. Okay, now this you can split in two ways, like you take all those points in z and then you can write a set of all those x belonging to capital X such that fx belongs to v, because we know that this z is a subset of x. So this set can be splitted or can be written as z intersection of all those points in your x such that fx belongs to v. And if you have noticed, this is nothing but z intersection with this set of all x belongs to x such that fx belongs to v is nothing but the inverse image of v in x. So this is nothing but f inverse of v. Now our claim, remember our claim is this should be open in Z, and in Z it should be a subspace topology. So some set is open in a subspace topology provided there exists some open set in the whole space such that your given set V can be written as open set in X intersection with Z. Okay, so again on subspace topology we have done some videos, we can go through them. So this is open, this is open in Z in subspace topology as f inverse of V is open in X. Why this is open in X? Why f inverse of V is open in X? Answer this. Okay, and we are writing f inverse of V, which is restricted to Z, of course, is equals to Z intersection f inverse of V. So this f inverse of V is, this implies f restricted to Z inverse of V is open in Z, of course, not integers, Z, of course, with subspace topology, and hence what we have started was the arbitrary open set V in your codomain, and we found that the inverse image of that open set is open in your domain, that is Z, and hence f restricted to Z is a continuous function. Okay, so there are a few question marks what I have given in these videos. I hope you can answer those. If you have any doubt, you can contact me on this number which is mentioned on the screen, or you can email me on this email ID as well. So in the next video, we will see a theorem wherein we will have the equivalent statements for continuity of a function. So there are totally 4 equivalent statements. To show that any function is continuous, we can use any of these 4 statements and say that f is a continuous function. So see you in the next video. Till then, stay tuned.